Let me start this off today by saying that most people will say that summer is the hardest season for consistency. Your kids are at home, your schedule is absolute chaos, your routine is gone, oftentimes you're traveling a lot, you're eating out, everything feels like it's falling apart. And for a lot of parents, they literally just give up. They think, it's summer, I'll get on track when the kids go back to school. And then summer becomes the season where they lose all their muscle, they gain 10 pounds, they spend September trying to undo 3 months of inconsistency. But it doesn't have to be that way, because the truth is summer consistency is possible. You just need to go into it with a plan and a structure. So this is my first year with both my kids home full-time during a full summer. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been a little bit different. The transition has been harder. My routine is completely different than it was during the school year, but I'm not falling apart. So I'm gonna show you exactly how I'm doing this as an entrepreneur who works from home full-time with my spouse and 2 kids at home. Let's dive into it. First off, we need to talk about the non-negotiables and what must stay the same. So we're going to talk about what should not change during the summer. Your health is non-negotiable. Your goals are non-negotiable. Your discipline should be non-negotiable. So what changes is how you execute, not whether you execute. So here are my non-negotiables during the summer and things that I maintain from the normal year as we roll into summer. The first thing is the early morning routine. So for me, I wake up at 4 a.m. most days, not 5 a.m., not 4:30, 4 a.m. And the reason is it gives me a 2-hour buffer before my kids start to stir and wake up. And in those 2 hours, I can do everything that matters if I need to. So what I typically do every morning is I get up at 4, I get showered, dressed, ready by 4:30. So I'm not just getting ready as in like, okay, I am ready for my kids to wake up. I'm truly getting ready for the day. So makeup, hair, shower, dressed, everything is done. The coffee is poured. I'm ready to start my day. Because how you feel physically affects how you show up for work, for your kids, for your structure, for your schedule. So if you start the day and within the first 30 minutes, you're ready to tackle anything, whether it means leaving the house, staying home, jumping on a Zoom call, getting on a meeting, whatever it is, if you're done within the first 30 minutes, then you've already started your day with a win. The second thing I do is I have coffee with my husband. This is non-negotiable. We sit down on the patio outside, we watch the sun come up, we drink our coffee, we do our devotional. I put collagen in my coffee so I start getting that protein in first thing to bring my cortisol down. But my husband and I try to connect in the morning before the day gets crazy and the kids wake up. For us, our devotional has shifted a lot throughout the years. Right now it's pretty quick. It's just a devotional that we read out of the book. We talk about how it applies to our life, and then we dive into either work or just discussing our day or what we're gonna do. Once the kids wake up, we do breakfast. So we try to eat together as a family. So we'll go inside, we prep breakfast, we eat together. We try to eat outside every day to get some fresh air and sunshine before we start work. So by the time the kids have woken up between 6 or 7, I'm fully dressed, showered, ready, coffee, devotional done, and I'm calm and present for everything that is to come. And that changes everything, because when your kids wake up and they see you're already ready, you're already put together, you're feeling calm, you've had your coffee, you're awake, they feel that and they absorb that, and we model that. So that's the foundation in our household. If you skip the early morning wake up, everything else can fall apart, because if your kids wake up, when you wake up, you're frazzled, you're rushing, you're trying to shower, your kids are knocking on the door, they're asking for breakfast, you're rushing, you're spilling things, and your day starts in chaos, and that chaos compounds. So I would recommend waking up early, protecting those hours, and make them sacred. Now for everybody, that morning routine is going to be a little bit different. Maybe you need to work out in the morning while your kids are sleeping. That's perfect. This morning is a great example. I have an appointment I have to go to in the middle of the day, so I'm not going to make it to the gym. So what I did is I woke up at 4, got on my Peloton, knocked out a 30-minute bike ride, jumped in the shower after, got dressed and ready. So I woke up at 4, and by 4:45, I was workout done, showered, dressed, ready, cup of coffee in hand. My kids still were not going to be up for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I still had a great buffer to my day. Anybody who says they don't have time to work out, I have met so few people that that's actually true. It's just that people don't utilize their time well. So the most powerful thing you can do as a parent is wake up early and give yourself some buffer time to get ready in the morning before your kids wake up. My non-negotiable number 2 is my workouts. So I personally work out 5 days a week for at least 30 minutes. So I don't negotiate with that. It's worked into my calendar. On the days I have to be flexible and move things around, I can shift, I can do it early. I have dumbbells at home, so I don't have to go to the gym. If I need to do cardio, I've got a Peloton at home. I can walk out my front door and go run if I need to. I could do body weight workouts, band workouts. I think one of the biggest downfall that people have when it comes to exercise is they think it has to happen in a certain way. And if I don't have an hour to go to the gym, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't work. I'm a failure. So I might as well just scrap it. And that's not the case. We have to be adaptable. We have to be strict about the process and flexible about the implementation. So for me, I'm currently on a 3-day lifting, 2-day cardio routine. Most of the year, I'm on a 4-day lifting, 1-day cardio routine. But here's the thing, I prefer going to the gym, but if I can't make it to the gym, I can be adaptable. I could do body weight workouts at home. I could do band workouts at home. I could do dumbbell workouts at home. I can do body weight cardio, go on a run, ride my bike. Hell, I can jump rope for 30 minutes at home if I need to. I could do push-ups. I could do air squats. So you have to remember, if you truly want to be successful with your goals long term, you have to be adaptable and understand that not every day is going to work out perfectly, and you have to be flexible with that. So there are days that my kids wake up super early and they're awake when I work out. So I've got 2-pound dumbbells that they could use while I get my workout in. So we have to be flexible, and instead of defaulting to my plan didn't work perfectly, so I'm going to scrap the thing entirely, we need to look at how can I be adaptable. So here's a couple ways that you can make this work. Strategy 1 is gym childcare for our normal days. So our gym has a kids area and they freaking love it. So on the days where our schedule is normal and structured, we go to the gym and the kids get to go play. And Corey and I work out at the same time. We go at the end of our work day. So they play, we work out, everyone wins. If your gym doesn't have childcare, you can find one that does. Typically the YMCA's, Planet Fitnesses, local gyms, a lot of them have summer childcare programs. If your gym doesn't, you might have to come up with a plan with your spouse where you guys take turns going to the gym, or you just get equipment at home for the summer months and just get some dumbbells. Either way, it's worth the investment to protect your consistency. So strategy 2 is just taking turns with your spouse. So on the days when we can't make it to the gym or our schedules are differing and we can't go at the same time, sometimes I'll wake up early and I'll knock out my workout at 4 o'clock in the morning and then come back, and then Corey will go later in the day, or we'll both go and take turns where I go at 4, he goes at 5. Neither of us make it, at the same time. The kids are still in bed and our workouts are done before they even wake up. So we have to remember that we have to be flexible. It doesn't have to happen at the same time every single day to be successful. It doesn't matter when you get your workout in. What matters is that you get it in. The third strategy is just being flexible with home workouts. So again, I have a Peloton, I have a jump rope, I have a walking pad. So if I can't make it to the gym, I have the option to do home workouts. Anybody could do an at-home HIIT cardio workout. Anybody can do an at-home body weight strength workout. So we have to be flexible and understand that yes, it may not feel as successful or exhausting or empowering as going to the gym and lifting heavy weights, but it's better than nothing. My third non-negotiable is my steps daily. So I aim for 10,000 steps a day, every single day of the week. So in the summer, it might look like walking on the walking pad. On the days it's too hot, if it's raining, too chaotic, then I just default to the walking pad. I do try to take walks with the kids every day. So we'll go outside, they'll ride their bike, I'll go on walks while I'm on calls or just while I'm listening to things. Also just playing with the kids outside. So we'll play soccer in the backyard, get some steps in. The kids love to go on walks. So I'll just invite them and we'll go on walks. We'll walk down to the neighbor's house and go feed the horses, whatever it is. But just remember, your walks don't have to be something that you take by yourself. If your kids are home, invite them to walk with you. Go to a park where they can play on the playground and you can walk loops around the playground. When they were little, that's what I did. So this is non-negotiable for me because it helps me maintain my activity level, gets me fresh air, it gets my mind away from work sometimes, and it keeps us all active. And if you're trying to achieve a deficit, you're going to be needing to get those steps in so that you can eat more food and still be losing the weight that you're after. The next biggest part that a lot of people struggle to maintain during the summer is nutrition. So the summer meal plan, timing, all the things can feel very chaotic, especially if you're out a lot. So typically summer is when eating goes completely off the rails for people. It's ice cream, restaurant meals, eating out when you're traveling, eating out because you're busy, eating out because your routine is gone. But nutrition is what determines your body composition. So if you let your nutrition go in the summer, your body composition will suffer. So here's my strategy. We minimize eating out. We only only eat out maybe once a week. And I know that sounds strict, but here's what we do. From a financial perspective, eating out is expensive. So we'd rather invest our money to go on trips and travel and do activities. From a goal perspective, eating out doesn't serve our goals. So we can't control the portions, the calories, what's in it, the macros. So it's very easy to overeat and get off track. So we cook at home, we meal prep, we have structure around food. If we go to the zoo, we pack sandwiches and snacks and we bring them with us. And this doesn't mean we eat restrictively. We eat great food, we enjoy our meals, but we do it at home most of the time where we have more control. And when we do eat out once or less a week, we try to make intentional choices. So we prioritize protein. Every meal has protein source. We add fiber, lots of vegetables, whole grains, sides with fiber, and we try to be conscious of portions. So not counting macros to the gram, but we're not overeating and overindulging either. And when you travel, the strategy should be the same. Travel is going to be inevitable in summer. That's the whole point. Family vacations, weekend trips, visiting family. But travel doesn't mean completely falling off. So here's what we do. We try to book hotels that have gyms. This is non-negotiable. If a hotel doesn't have a gym, we typically won't stay there. We aim to stick with our 3 days of lifting while we travel. We will skip our cardio and just focus on lifting and walking. We do prioritize protein at every meal. Hotel breakfasts usually have eggs and yogurts. Restaurants have high protein options, so that's what we choose. We intentionally get lots of fiber in, salads, vegetables, whole grains. And the reason is when you're traveling, a lot of times you're dealing with bloating, constipation, so that intentional fiber is going to help keep you regular going to the bathroom so you don't feel like crap while you're traveling. We also try to make good decisions. We're not rigid, we're not tracking our macros, but we're conscious of things. But we also let ourselves fully enjoy where we're at, the foods, the local cuisines, the ice cream, the fun stuff. But we try to be intentional where we can. Now, the reality of what happens on vacation, because I want to be honest about this, is when we take a full week off, we completely skip the gym, completely relax, let our nutrition go, abandon our routine. We come back feeling weaker, bloated, constipated, and off. So our body composition doesn't change drastically in a week, but we will feel sluggish and weak. Our clothes will fit differently, and that's real and it happens. But the key is we don't use that as an excuse to stay off the wagon. We get back on track immediately when we get home. So we go back to the gym on Monday, we get back to our steps, we get back to our protein, we get back to tracking. And normally within that first week or two, your body's fully back to normal. But it is common to come back from vacation 5 to 10 pounds up. I used to joke about it being my bread body, and I've noticed it depends on where I travel. If I travel outside of the United States to like Europe, where the food quality is a lot higher and I'm walking a lot, my weight doesn't go up. But if I'm traveling within the United States and I'm in different cities, eating at a lot of restaurants, typically my weight goes up drastically because of the food quality. So all that to say, take your vacation, enjoy it, take the time off of working out if that doesn't serve you to do it while you're there, relax, eat the foods, enjoy, know your weight might be up when you come back, and just get back on track. Don't stay off track. Now let's talk about making summer more manageable. Here's what I've learned. Summer doesn't need to be chaotic if you build structure. So the weekly schedule for us, I plan my week. Specific days are gym days, specific days are for food prep. So for me, I work out Monday through Friday typically. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday are lifting, Tuesday, Thursday are cardio, Saturday, Sunday are recovery and family time. So this doesn't change even in the summer. Obviously, if we have some random event and we have to make adjustments, we can do that. But I try to keep my normal schedule. That way I'm not negotiating with what needs to be done. So in the summer, the timing might shift, early mornings versus afternoon, but the structure says the daily non-negotiable routine for me is wake up at 4, shower, dressed and ready, coffee with my husband, devotional, family time, breakfast, work during the day, go to the gym, 10,000 steps, and planned controlled meals at home. We try to keep our structure. And it keeps me sane. The structure is what keeps me consistent, and without it, summer feels like a free-for-all. So with it, summer feels very manageable. So we have to remember, our kids are flexible, and what we decide to do is what they're going to do. So we have to be the ones who dictate the schedule, the structure, the implementation, and they're just gonna follow suit. So we need to be the ones who dictate that. Now here's the thing, we do have to strike a balance. I give myself grace in the chaos. Summer with kids at home is hard, and for my clients, it's really hard too. And I'm not gonna pretend that it's not. Some days are messy, some days are really easy. Some days the gym doesn't happen perfectly. Some days we're tired, some days we stayed up too late, some days we eat out. But I don't use that grace as an excuse to fall off entirely. Grace is giving yourself the understanding that summer will be different, and we have to adjust our expectations and our routines slightly. But not having grace is using summer as an excuse to stop working out for 3 months, throw your health out the window, eat out every day, spend ridiculous money at restaurants. And there's a difference between that. So we have to keep what routines we can if we really care about the consistency. But when push comes to shove, we have to remember that the level of chaos we allow in our life is our decision. So we might miss a workout. We might have to eat out a couple more times in a week. That does not mean that we just scrap it all entirely because of that. We need to go back to our consistency where we can. And one thing that I want people to understand is if you're new to health and fitness, your focus during summer might be maintenance, not necessarily progression. In summer, people might not be trying to necessarily lose a lot of fat. They might just try and maintain their habits throughout the summer, and that's okay. And the same thing goes for the holiday season between Thanksgiving and New Year's. If you can maintain your habits, maintain your muscle, maintain your strength, and maintain your body composition, that is a huge win. So that when the kids go back to school, when the routines return, when the chaos decreases, that might be the time to start setting those big goals. So if you're the kind of person who typically falls apart entirely during the summer, you might just want to work on maintaining the baseline. So that's the difference between a maintenance mindset and an all or nothing mindset. So some people might not want to be chasing perfection during the summer, but just staying consistent enough to not lose the progress that they've built previously. And that is totally achievable. So here's an actionable protocol that you can use to stay consistent this summer. Step 1 is going to be protect your mornings. Wake up early, at least 1 to 2 hours before your kids if possible. Get showered, dressed, and ready. This is your foundation to start your day off strong. If you're a person who needs to get workouts in before your kids wake up, make sure you buffer that time in. Step 2 is going to be schedule your workouts. If they're not on your calendar, the likelihood is that they're not going to get done. So pick specific days and times. Don't wing it, write it down, but be flexible that you might have to adjust it. So remember, 3 days minimum lifting. If you have time to add 2 extra days of cardio, great. If not, focus on lifting and steps. Step 3 is going to be committing to a daily step goal. This is going to get you outdoors. It's going to give you more movement, time with your kids. Make it non-negotiable, whether that's 5,000 steps a day, 7,000 steps a day, 10,000 steps a day. Make the goal make sense for you, but keep your body moving. Step 4 is going to be planning your meals. Minimize eating out where you can, both financially and from the food perspective, and being able to track and monitor what you're eating. Plan meals at home, come up with a weekly meal plan, talk it through with your spouse, know what's going to be made, make extra meal prep, buy frozen meals if you have to, but prioritize protein and fiber. And when you travel, make sure to choose hotels that have gyms, make sure they have restaurants so you can have breakfast in the morning, and choose some high protein options to start your days when possible. And step 5 is going to be give yourself grace, but try to stay consistent. So summer is harder, acknowledge that, but don't use that as an excuse to fall off completely. One missed day is not failure, but 1 week of throwing in the towel and saying, I'll just start in September is not the plan. So 3 months of inconsistency is avoidable. What we can do is have reasonable consistency throughout the summer and just give ourselves grace where we need to. And step 6 is going to be plan your return. So when you're back from a vacation, when you come back from traveling, make sure that you have a plan to get back on track immediately. You might feel bloated and sluggish when you come back, and that's normal, but we can't let that feeling completely derail us. Get back to the gym, back to our routine, and within that first week or two, you're gonna feel back to normal if you do that. So summer doesn't have to be the season you lose all your progress, and it doesn't have to be complete chaos if you don't let it, and it doesn't need to be all or nothing. It just requires some structure, some planning, wake up early, protect your non-negotiables, schedule your workouts, plan your meals, and give yourself grace, but stay accountable. If you do those things, you're gonna come out of summer stronger than you went in, or at least having maintained and not lost throughout the summer. Not because you were perfect, but because you maintained some consistency. And consistency over time is what changes your life.